Hey guys, what's up? All right, first unboxing video, okay? And we went down to the art shop and we picked up this bad boy. It's another battery operated eraser, just like the Ohuhu eraser that I've used in a whole bunch of my step-by-step drawing tutorials. But I'm actually kind of excited about this one. My wife was like, I'm getting this for you. And I was like, okay, cool, let's try it out. But there's a lot more to it. There's a couple different heads to this eraser from Artisan. And I'm actually kind of curious because I don't know, I've never had anything like this eraser with the exception of the Ohuhu. And I want to see if these tips right here, I want to see if these are interchangeable, because I mean, how cool would that be if I have the Ohuhu, which only runs one size that I know of, which is the equivalent of these larger sizes. If I can swap this holder out and run these little guys on the Ohuhu, that'd be kind of cool, right? Because I could run both erasers and have more utility with each eraser, not just one. Whoops. So we're going to unbox this bad boy, we're going to play with it, and then I'm going to run a demo and I'm going to show you all of the different effects that we can get with a charcoal drawing. And yeah, we're going to have fun every step of the way. So let's do it. All right, so here we are. This is the eraser from Artisan. As you can see, we got our two replacement eraser tips, and then we have our erasers, both large and small. Now, when it comes to the Ohuhu eraser, it actually has the exact same size, I think 5mm, which are these ones here. But right here, 27 pieces overall, with 2.3mm, which are these little guys, and then 5mm replacement eraser tips, which these are the 5mm, these are the 2.3mm, and then these are the replacement tips that they're talking about here. So just looking at it, it is definitely a lot longer than the Ohuhu eraser that I have. But on the back here, it says efficient ergonomic eraser, offers precise, controlled correction of targeted areas. So that's good. That is exactly what we want. It's insert 2 AAA batteries, not included, of course, but no worries. I do have some extra AAA batteries in my toolbox. And then to erase, press and hold power button and move eraser over pencil marks. So I guess that is how we begin to retrieve our high values. And then to extend eraser, pull clip out of chamber and pull eraser approximately 3mm out of clip, replace clip inside of the chamber. So that's actually pretty cool. And I've actually done that with my Ohuhu eraser, where basically you have the clip that is inside and you can pull that clip out, and you can pull the eraser out of the clip and then repinch it and then reinsert the clip into the eraser head, and that gives you just a little bit more extension on your actual eraser, you know, the part that hits the paper. And then last, it says to add eraser, pull clip out of chamber and remove remaining eraser, insert new eraser and replace clip inside of the chamber. Now this is the part that I mentioned at the beginning of the video where I'm like, I wonder if they're interchangeable. I'm thinking that the 5mm might be, but the big question is, are these guys the 2.3mm? I don't know if that one's going to be interchangeable. If it is, it's going to be really cool, because not only will I have utility in this eraser, but I'll have utility in my Ohuhu eraser as well. So, okay, well, enough talking. Let's tear into this bad boy. And I'm going to try to open this without all of these erasers, these ones here, going everywhere. Let's see, just nice and slow. Oop. Nice and slow. There we go. Okay. Oh. Okay, so now before I do this, I'm gonna take an art bin here that I have. As you can see, I have all of my erasers, my smudgers, and my charcoal pencils. You see, these are all the erasers that I have that are from my Ohuhu eraser. And it looks like, here, I'll actually grab a better one. Yeah, I mean, if they're not the same size, they are pretty close. Yeah, both in length and circumference. Okay, so what I'm gonna do actually is I'm going to grab all of these, with the exception of one, and I'm going to just put them right here. I don't want them going all over the place. That's the big thing. And this guy, I'll actually leave on the paper here. And then all of these little guys, same thing. I'm going to take and lay one of them out, and then take the rest. I'll just put them up here for now. And then here's my two eraser tips. There we go. And then of course, the eraser itself. All right, cool. Get that trash out of here. Move this kind of off to the side. All right. Okay. So with it empty, without there being batteries in it, it's pretty lightweight. Doesn't really, I guess it has an okay balance. I think this is probably where my batteries go. Yeah. Let's see here. I wonder which way these go in. This is plus, and this is negative, so it makes me wonder if that is how your batteries are supposed to go in. We're gonna find out. So I'm gonna slide this in. It said 2 AAAs. So we're gonna find out, I don't know. And it looks like we just put this in here. I don't think so. But we will see, we will find out. Oh, we got power. Wow. Well, right off the bat, I can already tell you that this runs smoother. It runs a lot smoother than the Ohuhu. The Ohuhu just runs louder and a little bit more abrupt, where this definitely runs a lot smoother. Okay, cool. Well, let's see if it's anything like the Ohuhu. We would just kind of squeeze this and pull it out. Okay. So the tip is empty now. Now this is our 5mm. Yeah, this is our 5mm. Actually, these look like they're the exact same size. Yeah, these are the smaller ones. Huh. Okay, cool. Didn't know that. So now if I pull this out and pinch it, slide it in here to where it's nice and snug. Wow. Oh, cool. So basically, pull this out. Okay. Yeah, they're the exact same size. So this must be the 5mm, and then both of these are the 2.3mm. Huh, cool, awesome. So now the big question is, are these interchangeable? Are these going to fit into the Ohuhu? So let's grab the Ohuhu. Okay, So I had to pull the batteries out of the Ohuhu because I only have one set of AAAs. But as we can see here, you already noticed like side by side, like a side by side comparison of these two erasers. The Artisan is quite a bit longer, where the Ohuhu is almost more like of a snub nose, if you want to think of it that way. But when it comes to the power button and then the end, the Ohuhu definitely would probably give you a little bit more control in the sense of, you know, you're able to really choke up on this, like really get up on the end of the eraser, where even if you like, I mean, because when you think about it, unless you hold this with your thumb, which is probably how I would run it, and you rest your trigger finger on the top here, you could actually get a lot of control. So that's actually not too bad, but it's all about how you hold it, right? So we'll set that there. As you can see, notice what I was doing with my Ohuhu. I had mentioned this in a couple of my tutorial, my drawing tutorial videos, but I had taken a razor and I had kind of sliced this down so that I could get a smaller surface area, so I could get into really small areas for my high value retrievals. But with these little 2.3 millimeter erasers, I don't think that I'll have that problem anymore. But okay, so here is the magic moment. Are they interchangeable? Hey, that's pretty snug. So let's see if it actually runs smooth. That's the question. Whoop. Artisan didn't want to be here no more. He was like, peace, bro. Okay. Hey, well, cool, man. That is exactly what I was wondering, and it looks like it's gonna work. It's not moving. A lot of times I've noticed that this clip, sometimes when it's in the Ohuhu and you're running it, sometimes it'll kind of work its way out. So you just have to make sure that that eraser tip is in there snug. But that's awesome. But do you hear the difference? Do you hear how much louder the Ohuhu is? Right? Now we're gonna pop out these batteries simply because I only have 2 right now. Okay, there we go. Now listen to this. When we put in an eraser tip, listen to this. You hear that? It's just shorter strokes. Yeah, cool, man. Well, that is awesome. So we know that our eraser tips are interchangeable, which is like awesome. Way to go. I don't know if you guys meant to do that or not, but that's really cool. That is really, really cool. I'm glad that these are interchangeable because now I have utility in a tool that I'd never had before. So that is awesome, possum. Really, really cool. And yeah, I mean, side by side, you know, tools are kind of like us. Tools are kind of like artists. Every single tool's gonna be different, even though it might serve the same purpose. But I mean, I just have to say, first impressions of the Artisan eraser is that I actually, if I had to hold it like this, like I hold the Ohuhu, because look at this, look at this. This is how I hold the Ohuhu, right? That's how I hold it when I run it. So it's very much like a pencil in that, you know, your power button is over the top. You know, you reach over the top with your trigger finger. Now, when it comes to Artisans, if I was to do that same thing, I mean, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I'm not as choked up on the head of the eraser as I would like to be. But if I turn it like this and I hit it and I run it with my thumb and then I put my my trigger finger right on top of the head, that actually feels better and gives me more control, I feel, than the Ohuhu does. We can theorize all we want, but there's only one way to find out exactly how these perform in hand, and that's retrieving some high values. So let's do that. Okay. So this is just a sketch that I have of Nirvana's Kurt Cobain. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use our new eraser, and I'm gonna hold it like this, and I'm gonna run my power button with my thumb instead of running it like this, which I think is probably how they want you to use it, but hey, we're artists. We don't like to follow the rules. So, all right, let's start here. So this is the 5 millimeter. So, I already like how it runs. Let's pull that high value line there. Let's try it like this. So now, I'm gonna give up a little bit of control and I'm gonna sit farther back on the handle here. Let's see what this does, see how this feels for me. That feels okay. I'm a control freak though, so I'd probably actually like to run it like this. But one of the things that I think would be really cool and kind of like an upgrade for this tool would be if you had like an automatic like function on this button. Like say maybe if you press down and like pulled back and it ran like automatic, like I didn't have to keep applying pressure with my finger, that would allow me to like maybe sit really far back on the handle and maybe just kind of like skip across the paper, or like if I wanted to add pores or something like that, that would be really cool. Because as it is, having to keep a constant pressure, whether I'm holding it like this and doing it with my thumb with my trigger finger over the head, or if I'm sitting back and I'm not nearly as choked up and I'm having my trigger finger on the power button, it just, I find that I'm holding, it's forcing me to hold the eraser a little bit too tight, right? And because of that, I'm not able to hit the paper smoothly. I mean, obviously, you know, every artist is gonna be different, but that's just something that I'm noticing in my hand and what I prefer. We all have our preferences, but an automatic power feature would be really cool, would be really smart for something like this. But all in all, I do like how you can switch it up. Like I can sit back on the handle and I can, you know, run a defined line right here, like a high value defined line right along this this low value line if I want. Or say, for example, if I want to switch it up and I want a little bit more control and I want to come in here and I want to give Mr. Cobain a little bit of a high value retrieval on his nose, I can do that as well. Yeah, an automatic power feature. That would be pretty cool, because as it is, you really kind of have to press this button, and the thing about it is when I'm drawing, and even when you're using an eraser, right, you're basically conducting high value retrieval, and you're very much focused on the paper, right? The last thing that I want to be concerned with is my power flow to my eraser head as I'm hitting the paper, because you have to continue to apply pressure. What I'm noticing is when I get really involved and focused on the paper and what I'm doing onto the paper, I tend to ease up on my pressure on the power button. And what that does is that affects the rate, and it kind of cuts the power to the eraser head, which is kind of a problem, because if you're running a high value line and all of a sudden your power cuts out, it's going to affect the aesthetic of your drawing. So food for thought. I mean, these are all constructive critiques that I'm giving. I mean, this is an awesome eraser, and I'm so glad to have it in my drawing arsenal. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But now what I want to do is I want to swap out my 5mm for my 2.3mm. Slide that in. This will give me a little bit more control, which is perfect for detail work. This is the thing that I'm the most excited about, is the detail work. So like getting in here on this eye, and I want more control, so I'm gonna hold it with my trigger finger over the head. Just pull this. Wow. I have never had a battery powered eraser that gives me this kind of detail before. That is amazing. Such a small area, right? Such a small area. This was worth it. This was worth every penny. And look at this. You could try to do this with a mono zero eraser, right? Which is the handheld eraser, which is like my go-to, and you'd fail. This is just so nice. I mean, let's see if I run this. Wow, look at that line. Look at that high value line. That is amazing. Well, you see that? Did you hear that? How I was hitting the paper and then it eased up? That's what I was talking about, where I'm getting so involved in my drawing that I'm forgetting to continue applying the pressure in my thumb to that power button. But small potatoes, right? That's not that big of an issue. Wow. Just gonna run this back and forth. I'm gonna try to ease up on this here and see what kind of effects I can do with this. Just kind of bring that eye out a little bit. Wow, cool, man. So cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely have to say that I love it. I really, really do like this eraser. It's really nice. Let's see here. Let's mess with these eyebrows a little bit and see what kind of trouble we can get into here. I think I'm gonna start from the center and just kind of. God, I just can't get over the lines that you can pull with this. Especially with the 3-layered method, right? Because so much of that method is just that. It's retrieving those high values from a base layer of soft charcoal, right? So this is a winner. For me, this is a definite winner. Bring that out a little bit. Cool. I mean, I definitely prefer the 2.3 millimeter to the 5 millimeter. But remember what I've always said about tools, guys, especially when it comes to the smudgers, right? The smaller the smudger, the more control, and that principle applies with your erasers when you are doing high value retrievals as well. So now one more thing, one more little test. I want to try that 2.3 millimeter tip with my Ohuhu, just because we can, right? All right, this is exciting. All right. Boom, okay. This is so cool that I gained this utility with my Ohuhu, so. Yeah, you hear how much louder that is? Okay, let's mess around with this nose a little bit. I almost think that just because of how short and stocky the Ohuhu is, it just gives me more control. Or maybe I say that simply because I've been using it for so long that I'm partial to it, right? But the big thing with both of these erasers, guys, is that eraser tip spins clockwise, right? It spins from left to right, both of them do. So when you go to hit the paper, you don't want to go like this. So I'll show you what you don't want to do. You don't want to go from left to right like this. Do you hear that? Do you hear how the eraser tip is almost like skipping across the paper? Now listen to this. We'll go right to left. Right? Did you hear that difference? And so you basically want to go from right to left on your strikes. Otherwise, you risk skipping across the paper, and you might ruin your drawing, especially if you're in a delicate area like this, right, with the eyes. Right to left, not left to right. Look how small I can get on that. See that? Cool, man. We can start just like little flicks, little strikes, short little throws. I could do this for hours, but yeah, basically when it comes right down to it, the tips from Artisan are interchangeable with the Ohuhu eraser. And when it comes to the ergonomics of the Artisan eraser, about my only real complaint is that I wish, and it's not just Artisan, it's Ohuhu as well. Like you can't press this and hold this to make this power automatic either. But I think just the shape and the shortness of this handle compared to this one just makes it a little more ergonomical than Artisan. But look at the buttons. Like the drop on that button is also very, very abrupt. Like when it clicks, it clicks. Where with Artisan, see the difference? Do you hear that? Listen. Hear the click? There is no click. So that's my only complaint. But outside of that, I love how the tips are interchangeable. I love the high value retrieval work that you're able to accomplish with it. And yeah, man, overall, great eraser. If you don't have one of these, you know what I say, you can never have enough tools. Tools are kind of like knowledge that way, right? They give you freedom. They give you the ability to accomplish things on paper that you couldn't do before. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial, definitely give it a thumbs up and a like, helps me out with the algorithm. And I will drop a link to this specific eraser in the description of this video, along with the Ohuhu eraser, in case you want to pick up both of them if you don't have them already. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And remember, never stop drawing.